Welcome, everyone, and thank you for listening to the Leftover Pizza Podcast. Grimey here, and I'm joined by, of course, Derek. How you doing, Derek?
Of kills. I'm great. How are you?
Doing all right. Cold. I'm in my basement. It's a little bit cold down here. We are in the middle of February, and it is absolutely freezing outside. I think the temperature yesterday was like 1 degree, and the real feel was like negative 15 or something like that. It sucked. That's all I'm going to say. It sucked.
Oh, really? It's 85 and balmy for me in Massachusetts.
Wow.
And that's real. Don't fact check it. Don't Google it. We are in a heat wave, baby, and palm trees are growing, and things are fantastic. I'm going to start listening to the summer playlist, actually.
Not so true fact of the day. Perfect.
Yep, that's it.
So, man, the summer playlist, man, does that sound like an amazing idea. Unfortunately, today, Derek might be listening to it, but we're not going to be talking about summer playlists. We're going to be talking about some more discontinued junk food. This is Discontinued Junk Food Part 3. I can't remember exactly. The first one was like 2 years ago. Then we did another one last year, and now we're just continuing.
That changes my plans significantly for this evening. Wow. All right. So I got a lot of changing around to do.
Oh.
You're gonna go first, obviously. I will come up with things on the fly. We're doing discontinued junk foods.
You were under the impression we were doing summer music, summer songs?
Listen, I'm very confused. I'm feeling so weird. Do you remember, like, we were working at the video store not that long ago, and then I told you, like, this rabbit came in and he gave me something? I have not felt right since that time.
I remember that night. I had to give you a ride home. So you're still feeling pretty off?
Yeah, things are not right. I'm seeing colors. I'm hearing smells. I don't know. We're going to get through this, though.
But first, every day, thousands of podcasts go unrated and unloved. For just a few seconds of your time, you can make a difference.
I've seen it firsthand. 0 reviews or ratings in weeks or months.
For just 5 stars a day, you can help a podcast feel appreciated. Your rating will provide warmth, validation, and an algorithm boost to a podcast in need.
And that's not all. For the price of 30 seconds of your time, you can also leave a written review. Even a simple, "Great show," can give hope to struggling podcast hosts everywhere.
I can remember one review we got that simply said, "Nice." It meant everything to us.
The Leftover Pizza Podcast needs your help. Don't let another podcast go unrated.
Won't you please rate and review today?
Simply open your podcast app and click those 5 beautiful stars.
And if you rate in the next 10 minutes, we'll send you a photo of us giving a thumbs up.
Photo is purely digital and may take 3 to 5 business years to receive. No refunds on thumbs up photos.
I'm Plato, the host of Pop Secret Pop Quiz. It's a great tasting popcorn and it's a quiz. Today's challenge, new neon green. 1 of 6 popcorn colors. Matt here will try to find it.
Great hair, Plato.
New color, new do. Clock ticking.
Door number 3.
Let's see.
Wrong.
Keep guessing.
14.
No, sir.
5.
We've got a winner. Here on Pop Quiz, where the big question is, what'll pop up next?
All right, I'm going to start off with a pretty easy one here. We're going back to 1991 with Pop Secrets, Pop Quiz Popcorn.
Now, am I correct in the assumption that this is spelled the correct way? Q-U-I-Z?
No, you would be completely incorrect. This is actually spelled
Ah,
Q-W-I-Z, so it's edgy.
Bitch. Early on this evening and things just aren't going my way. It's only up from here, really. Well, all right. So I got the spelling wrong about this popcorn. Why are we talking about popcorn? It seems like such a boring pop pick.
Well, see, this one's a little bit different. This is Pop Quiz Popcorn, so that it has a bit of a gimmick to it. If you've never heard of Pop Quiz Popcorn, these were basically mystery bags of colorful popcorn that popped in a variety of neon colors. So a little bit different, kind of a cool gimmick. I was always a huge fan of popcorn. I'm still a huge fan of popcorn. Like anytime I'm watching a movie or anything or watch a TV series, like I feel like it just always needs to be there on my late night adventures. And this start at a very young age. Popcorn has fueled some very, very intricate TGIF and SNCC nights back in my youth. Any excuse I had, it was a good excuse for popcorn. But this was a little bit different. So you were promised a popcorn with weird colors. You had no idea what you were going to get until after you popped this bag. And the bag had colors on the outside, but they never actually matched what was inside.
All right, yeah, that's pretty cool. And okay, so how long do you think, even if you don't know, if you had to take a stab at it, how long do you think the Pop Secret Pop Quiz was around for? Because I don't ever recall seeing this. So did it last very long, or was it kind of in and out, flash in the pan sort of thing?
It was very much so like a flash in the pan. I think I read that it was only around for like 2 or 3 years. It might not even lasted quite that long. It was a very short period of time. I can kind of vouch for why it might not have did so well. It really wasn't the greatest popcorn, to be honest with you.
So much like the colored ketchups, which I brought up on last month's Y2K show, this one actually might be a case of it didn't taste very good versus a perception of I don't think it tastes very good because it's colored different than what it's supposed to be.
So I don't remember it being all that buttery. Like I'm a sucker for very, very buttery popcorn. Like even today I buy like the extra butter or the butter lovers or the movie theater butter popcorn. Like so the taste wasn't amazing. The little bags, they were quite small. You might have like 2 or 3 little handfuls of popcorn to begin with in this little thing. And then the gimmick itself, I know that this is a food that I would love to see come around again, maybe executed a little bit differently. We're promised colors, right? Wouldn't it be a slap in the face if they did one in yellow? They did. And I feel like that one's the one you got pretty often. Like it would take forever for you to get like a blue or a green. So you'd buy like 5 boxes and you'd still only find like 1 or 2 blue ones in the batch. Kind of disappointing.
That's lame. I want my red 40 popcorn, you know?
Exactly.
I want a health conscious snack that makes me bounce off the walls when I eat it. Is that too much to ask for? You know,
Yeah.
Some butter flavored hydrogenated soy oil flavoring, some artificial dye. Something as health conscious and light calorie and low in calorie as a popcorn. Sounds like a magic combination.
I can't believe there's still slavery in the galaxy. The Republic's anti-slavery laws are...
The Republic doesn't exist out here. We must survive on our own.
Excuse me.
Has anybody ever seen a pod race?
They're pod racing on Malastare. Very fast, very dangerous.
I'm the only human who can do it.
You must have Jedi reflexes if you race pods. Don't do that again.
All right, I'm feeling a little kooky crazy still, a little loopy, a little out of it. So, Grimey, my first pick of the evening for my discontinued foods, I'm going with some candy. All right, I'm going with a little funky, fun-flavored, maybe fun-shaped. I like a lollipop. You like lollipop? Call me 50 Cent.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Yeah. Lollipops are all right.
Yeah, call me Fitty. I love my lollipop, etc., etc.
I hope we're not talking. No.
I nothing that I love better than lollipop than romance as well. Do you love romance and lollipop?
No. I can't wait for you to get into this. Oh
well,
my
too
God.
bad you're getting it because my first pick that I'm resurrecting that I want back, I am waxing poetic about none other than the Jar Jar Binks tongue pop. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. That was a cultural event, wasn't it?
Yeah, man. I wasn't really too huge into the Star Wars fandom. I'm not sure how far you got to it, but I was under the impression a lot of people hated our pal Jar Jar Binks.
Well, you know, in true Derek is a contrarian fashion, I am not a fan of Star Wars, and I've tried so many times. There's a couple things that I've liked, you know, Rogue One, the film, thought that was pretty good. Watched a little tiny bit of The Mandalorian, thought that was okay for what it was. And back in the day, my uncle, when trying to really get me into Star Wars, I think he was seeing an opportunity that a lot of people his age were seeing at that time, which was, hey, I grew up with Star Wars and we loved it. And now there's a new Star Wars movie out. Let's try to get these kids into Star Wars too. So he took me to episode 1. And I have to admit, at the time, I loved it. I thought it was great. The movie, I was into it. I thought it was so fun. And I guess, contrary to the popular opinion, which is, we don't like Jar Jar. Jar Jar ruined Star Wars. I was all in on Jar Jar, man. I thought Jar Jar was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Okay, I thought he was funny. He hit all the right notes for me. And to this day, I could give a shit about what happens in the Star Wars universe, but I am still on Team Jar Jar. And if they want to make a spin-off Jar Jar series, I'd watch it. I would watch it in a heartbeat. I'd watch it tomorrow if it dropped tomorrow.
We're almost in the same ball game. I really never watched a lot of the Star Wars stuff. And like, I had a shirt that had Jar Jar on it, and I wore it pretty frequently, not really knowing anything about the character. Yeah, it was sweet, dude. It's like very trippy. It had like an acid wash to it and everything. It was just an awesome shirt. Wore it a lot. All that to say, this lollipop really fucking freaks me out. We haven't even told the folks what is going on yet.
Yeah.
So why don't we get to that?
I mean, I guess it is a discontinued foods show and not a let's talk about Star Wars show. So yeah, the main attraction here is they were merchandising anything and everything Star Wars at this point, and somebody, and I like to think of this as, do you remember that scene from The Simpsons where Krusty is signing off on a bunch of different products that use his likeness?
Oh yeah,
just because he wants to get paid.
and signing. Yeah,
it's like a faulty alarm clock that burns you when you try to turn it off in the morning, and it's like a sparking, wall clock that's gonna set your house on fire. And he's like, yeah, okay, whatever, sure, go ahead, that's fine, it's all good. Krusty brand seal of approval. That's how I feel about this Jar Jar lollipop. For those of you who have never seen it before, just Google it. Jar Jar Binks tongue lollipop. It'll pop right up. It is the most obscene, absurd thing ever. And I have to tell you, I had one of these.
Oh, you did have one before? Oh,
and
my God.
Loved it.
Did you actually? So you were like sitting there just like
it.
letting Jar Jar punch your tonsils?
Yeah.
With his
we
mouth.
were Frenching. We were getting acquainted. I was sucking on that tongue. I tell you what. So yeah, there's a molded Jar Jar face, and like all of the other novelty lollipops back in the day, that would have come with, like a molded Power Ranger. Sometimes it might have like a motorized base where you'd push a button and it would spin the pop around, so you didn't have to do any of the work. The pop would just like basically lick itself. Wow, that's a phrase. Anyways, so this one, it's basically a Jar Jar head action figure attached to one of those special bases. And when you push up on it, like a push pop, his tongue comes out of his mouth. But his tongue is made of candy. And it's up to you, young indoctrinated Star Wars fan, to suck on that tongue like your life depends on it.
It reminds me of a Demogorgon from Stranger Things. Like the way that this thing opens up. Man, I've never seen this.
Yeah.
Never, ever saw this before. I know that I probably would have avoided this. I still can't believe that this is a real thing. Like when you sent it, I thought it was a joke. I was like, this can't be real. It's so real. Derek has lived to tell the tale. I need to know which fucking asshole exec greenlit this insane fucking idea. Like, holy shit. Super just disturbing, to be completely honest. But it sounded like you had a good time with it.
Yeah, what's not to love, Good candy, funny character. You learn a little bit about love. And that's really the highest of highs, You don't get higher than this unless a cartoon bunny pops out of a time machine and hands you a joint,
Is this one of them Jar Jar Binks lollipops? I don't see the appeal.
Come those Dizzy Grizzly bears with sprinkles on the back. They'd like to show you both their size. Now that's a double snack.
Dizzy Grizzlies!
Flip them over back to front, it's gonna make them dizzy. Did you ever think you'd have such fun playing with the Grizzly? Dizzy Grizzlies! From Teddy Grahams. Now you can flip the box around and let your eyes start zooming in. These 3D magic sprinkles take your eyeballs for a spin. Dizzy Grizzlies!
All right, Derek, this next one was introduced in 95 and discontinued in 99, and that is Dizzy Grizzlies, a.k.a. Teddy Graham's rad cousin who skateboards and wears pit viper sunglasses.
Hell yeah. This guy was so rad.
Oh,
and
so
I don't
cool.
know, if it's all of the boxes, but I believe, Grimey, correct me if I'm wrong, when you actually look up Dizzy Grizzlies on the internet, like a photo of yours of a box that you own is like pretty high on the Google search.
Oh, is it?
algorithm.
Oh, man.
It is.
I love that.
And the only reason I bring this up is because on top of the coolest bear of all time gracing the front of this box, there's another another character, another mascot that doesn't get his time, or her, I guess. It could be either.
Sure.
Time in the sun. And I just want to shine a little light, spread a little love. Let me reach up. Let me grab him. He's here with me today, Grimey.
Oh,
Hold on.
I know who you're getting. Hell yeah. I
We
forgot
are
you have
talking
him.
about- What is this guy's name? Just the Nabisco? The Nabisco guy, right?
Is he a Nabisco man? I don't.
The Nabisco man?
I feel like we have to
I don't
look him
know.
up for cred. The Nabisco logo is called Orb and Cross or Globus Cruciger. Globus Cruciger.
Cruciger. Now, here's the other thing that I just found, according to fandom.com. He's also, in parentheses, known as Earth-DT121221. So we
Okay.
could be dealing with a little alien right here.
Okay,
And I'm so
perfect.
sorry to hijack your Dizzy Grizzlies.
Oh, no, you're
to talk
fine.
about,
No, it's all good.
the Nabisco thing. But, discontinued food show, we're 3 in. I don't know that we've ever brought him up before. He deserves his little moment in the sun. So 2 mascots on that box. This little weird guy. And like I said, coolest bear around.
Absolutely. What
Continue.
a team up. An absolute team up. I don't know that particular logo fella has appeared on too many boxes, but I feel like he makes the most sense on the front of a Dizzy Grizzlies box.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's like that crude CGI render
Yeah.
with like the most beautiful 2D, not Hanna-Barbera bear you've ever seen in your life.
Absolutely. These were a lot of fun, though. The boxes are great. Huge contrast compared to the cutesy-esque safeness of the Teddy Graham box, I feel like. If anyone hasn't had these before, they're basically Teddy Grahams, but they have chocolate or vanilla frosting on the back, the flat side, and there was little nonpareil sprinkles on the backs, so they had kind of that TV static effect. And they looked great. They tasted great. They're a little bit different than obviously your regular old Teddy Graham. They're just a little bit better in my opinion. And not to get too far away from it, but I believe they actually did a Rugrats rendition of them later in '99, just after these were discontinued.
Really?
Yeah, they did, which were pretty much the same exact cookie, just Rugrat shaped.
Okay. I'm seeing it here. Yes. And it looks like we're vanilla frosted, the Rugrats variant of it.
Well, they had both.
They did have both?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Well, that's fascinating because I'm going to tell you something right now.
What's that?
I never had the vanilla. Ever.
Me either. I was just going to say, I didn't even know they made vanilla ones for some reason.
Oh, me neither.
I don't think I would have picked them up. I feel like chocolate reigned supreme immediately, but like, maybe I would have tried them, on a whim, just something different.
Now that I'm thinking of it, I feel like the vanilla, I mean, obviously it makes sense, chocolate and vanilla. It's not like it's going to be a bad flavor combo or something, but I'm thinking about what that flavor profile would be like, and it has to be probably nearly identical to like a frosted animal cracker with the same sprinkles.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
It's got to be like the same thing.
You're probably right. So I don't know if you watched the commercial at all. I can't remember ever watching it or ever seeing it on TV. This might have been in that spot where I just didn't have cable and wasn't lucky enough to catch it. But after watching now I realize you have to watch it. It's a crucial part of the Dizzy Grizzly lore. Otherwise, you wouldn't understand that it explains several times that they're called Dizzy Grizzlies because you're looking at the front and then the back a bunch of different times. That makes the grizzly dizzy.
Yeah, so I am watching it as we speak. And, the thing that's really standing out to me in that commercial, aside from the lore, because that's hugely important, but it's the CG nonpareil sprinkles that are popping up because
beautiful.
All these bears are doing activities. They're skiing, they're spinning around, taking, jump shots. All I can think of when I see them, those sprinkles, is we brought it up, I think either last summer or the summer before, on the ice cream show.
Yes.
Remember the sprinkle ice cream pops from Popsicle?
Mm-hmm.
This commercial and the commercial for those, very similar aesthetics, specifically because of those nonpareil animated sprinkles. So just a little shout out to my favorite little vanilla chocolate sprinkle ice cream bars from years past.
Which is funny because I think I just explained that the back of these looked like TV static, and that's exactly what I said for your ice cream bars back in the day too. I described the nonpareil sprinkles as TV static. So yeah, that totally fits, man. Nice comparison.
Thank you. One last thing about Dizzy Grizzly himself. Do you think he ever did drugs? He looks like he did drugs.
I'm going to have to assume. He's got the Pit Viper glasses on.
Yeah, he's hiding some red blood eyes.
He's definitely hiding something.
After 10,000 years, I'm free! It's time to conquer Earth!
Alpha, Reader's Escape. Recruit a team of teenagers with attitudes.
So I'm happy that your last pick was about Dizzy Grizzlies because for me, Dizzy Grizzlies, they were a top of the fridge snack at my grandma's house when I was growing up.
That's very oddly specific, and it's very accurate too, because that's exactly where like 90% of the time, I'm willing to bet 98% of the time, that's where I was eating these. Was at my grandmother's house, and they were absolutely in the box on top of the refrigerator.
Yeah, all right. So good. I'm glad. So it was a top of the fridge snack. That's where they lived. And I brought them up when we were guests on the Halloween is Forever podcast. So the Dizzy Grizzlies sat next to the marshmallow ice cream cones at my grandparents' house. So those were two top of the fridge snacks. So those were the top of the fridge snacks. The pantry snacks is actually going to be my next pick. So you're probably going to remember these, as is one of our favorite listeners, Mike. This one is equally for me as it is for you. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fruit snacks.
Oh, we're finally bringing up some Mighty Morphin Power Rangers just for our buddy.
Took a while.
Told you we would hit it.
There. Yeah, we always get what you people want. All right. It just we gotta find the right way to bring it up and the right way to do certain topics justice. So, I mean, listen, when I was growing up, big Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan. It was the whole reason I got potty trained as a kid. Because I was just so obsessed with these Red Ranger sneakers. I wanted them so bad that my parents and grandparents bribed me. If you go on the potty like a big boy, you can have a pair of Red Ranger sneakers yourself. So there's home video of me, actually, running around in nothing but underwear in my brand new Power Rangers Red Ranger sneakers, kicking and punching and doing karate because I thought that they made me a ranger.
They did.
Because I got potty trained. And they did.
They absolutely
and so,
did.
as you can imagine, big Power Rangers guy, I've got my shoes on. I've got my Red Ranger stuffy. And I'm eating a lot. I mean, just look at me now, obviously. A lot of these Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fruit snacks. Did you ever have these when you were growing up? I know that we love to talk about the Great White Gummies or the Scooby-Doo gummies.
Right.
These are ones that I really had an attachment to.
These ones I remember having a couple of times, and I think Brock's makes them. I just loved back at a certain time where like you could identify with your favorite cartoon and TV shows through gummy snacks. Like every one of my favorite things had a gummy snack. So like TMNT obviously had theirs. Believe it or not, Donkey Kong Country had theirs. But Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, yeah, I had these a couple of times. Can't remember them having too much of a difference between all the other ones I really loved, other than the fact that they made me feel happy that they were Power Rangers. I wasn't a big Power Ranger kid when I was young. I didn't have the opportunity to see a lot of this stuff because, again, I didn't have cable. And it wasn't until like the first movie when I got my like first taste of Power Rangers lore. And by that time, people were kind of like already all in on it. I was so behind.
I'm sorry. I really appreciate your input, and it's all well and good. Here's the thing: while trying to research these gummies specifically, I found out that Saban, the company that produced Power Rangers and other properties like another favorite of ours, Beetleborgs, or hey, VR Troopers. Did you know that they had a Whole Foods brand?
A Whole Foods brand?
Not a Whole Foods like the store. They had a Whole Foods.
A whole line of foods.
Whole line of foods.
So this is called part of it?
Saban Foods. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think there is, but I've just been so obsessed in knowing that the Power Rangers people, the toy people, they were making like just every food under the sun. Can I tell you like a little bit of this deep dive that I went on, these things that I found out? It's going to blow your mind, right?
Okay, yeah.
I think you probably thought this just ended with the gummies, or maybe you remember like those little cookies, or maybe like the canned pasta. No, it goes so much deeper than this. There were Mighty Morphin granola bars, there were spaghetti rings, there was mac and cheese, there were VR Troopers lightning bolt cookies, there were Beetleborgs Nuggets Power Meal. I don't know if you knew this. I'm thinking it's like Kid Cuisine, but Beetleborgs.
Right.
Power Rangers Zeo Juice Crystals, Galaxy Pizza Breadsticks, Lightspeed Rescue Emergency Service Hamburgers. And that, like, the list goes on and on. Here's the thing that I found fascinating. There were two different lines for Power Rangers specifically from Saban Foods. There was Power Rangers Power Meals from 1994 to 2002. And then from 94 to 97, there were Power Rangers Lunch Packs. I just need you to hear about some of these lunch and meal options that you're getting through a Power Rangers line, Grimey. Ham and American cheese with crackers. They're going full Lunchables. Turkey and cheddar with crackers. Bologna and American cheese with crackers. And then we start getting crazy. Pepperoni pizza, cheese pizza, Hawaiian pizza with mayonnaise salad. What the fuck could that be? And how does that even tie into Power Rangers, Grimey?
Wow.
My mind is blown. I just wanted to talk about some fun-shaped gummies, and I got sucked into this whole deep, dark world that I didn't know existed. And I can't for the life of me reason why it would have existed. You know, they could have just licensed this shit out to Kid Cuisine, Chef Boyardee. Like you said, sell the license off to Brock's. No. These masterminds from Saban, they said, we've got the home video corner market cornered. We've got the video games. We've got the TV. We've got the toys. You know what we need now? We need high sodium, low protein meals, and we're going to pump them out to the kids, and they're going to buy it, and we're going to make 100% of the profit. It's insane.
Icky, sticky, sticky, sticky bubble gum, bubble gum, bubble gum. Icky, sticky, sticky, sticky bubble gum makes your hands stick to your knees. And you pull them, and you pull them, and you pull them away. Icky, sticky, sticky, sticky bubble gum, bubble gum, bubble gum. Icky, sticky, sticky, sticky bubble gum makes your hands stick to your head. And you pull them, and you pull them.
All right, Derek, we're headed back to 93.
The year of my birth.
Oh, man, this was the year of your birth. Holy fuck.
This is the year of my birth. This is when I become sentient. So,
all right.
Needless to say, whatever this is, I wasn't indulging in it.
So 2 really cool things came out in 93. One was Derek. The other one...
No.
No? Okay,
Don't
so
even flatter me.
Still just
You're on
one
thin
thing.
ice, pal.
Still just one thing came out good in 93. We're talking about Tongue Splashers Gum. This was, like I said, 93, discontinued in 99. This was probably one of the coolest bubblegum gimmicks of all time. These were individually wrapped gumballs that would paint your mouth, whatever color the gum was that you picked up. And I don't mean that just a little bit. Like, it looked like you straight up gargled food coloring sometimes. Like, these were pretty powerful. It's not like a lot of the other gum that still kind of paints your mouth a little bit colored, but like this was just like a whole other level. And perhaps the best part, all these little gumballs came nestled in a legit paint can.
There it is. That's the hook. I was such a sucker when I was a kid for anything packaging.
A Jar Jar sucker?
A Jar Jar sucker. And might I thank you for bringing that back up, by the way, because this, your Tongue Splashers Gum, that is technically the second tongue-themed food pick of this
Found the
show.
hidden theme. Found it.
So a little bit of a theme. So I'm going to make sure that whatever artwork I create for this, it's got like the big old fucking Rolling Stones logo or something. Just a lot of tongue happening.
Yeah.
And you won't get it until you get this far in the show. But anyways, I was such a sucker for a themed package. You know, something like this, a little paint can, that would have hooked me. We've talked about it in the past. On one of the old Patreon shows, which if you're listening, yes, we will get around to reposting all of them here for free on the main feed. On one of those shows, I think it was the Bug Show, we talked about the bug candy. Remember that?
Yeah.
And it came with like a little bug container to catch and keep bugs as pets. Or even something like, and I know that maybe in a future show these might come up, but like the Ouch bubblegum, where it came in a tin. And every time you bought it, you got a special little tin that you could store little trinkets and doodads in.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that shit. It just spoke to me. It could have been the worst candy in the world, and if the packaging was cool and collectible slightly, I was all about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that being said, I mean, there's so many other gums. There's so many. We wouldn't be able to do 20 shows to cover all of them. And I still say that this is probably one of the best. It's in the top 3 for me. It's just that cool. Like, this felt like such a badass bubblegum. The black background label with like, it's got this very vibrant green ooze paint drip graphic, and the logo's in bright orange. It kind of looks like it's painted on. There's a bunch of like paint splatters. And then like the logo, they have this almost, like you said, Rolling Stones-esque kind of tongue and mouth graphic on the front. It's just very, very stark and just in your face. And I've always felt like this was like the cool kids gum, and I'm not sure if it was the presentation, because obviously it's very badass, but the way that I first encountered them, it was probably what left the lasting impression, which was in a video store back in probably 95 or 96 with my mom getting ready to pick out some VHS tapes at this rental place. And I still remember exactly what I grabbed, by the way. I grabbed 2 of Derek's favorite movies. It was Super Mario Brothers and Baby's Day Out. Oh, so good, man. 2 movies I still love to this day. But anyways, so I grabbed them, and everyone has to go back to the horror tapes and get their sneak peek in. I'm 7 years old. This is as close to horror as I'm ever going to get at this age. And there's this glass display case with all kinds of goodies and snacks that you can purchase in it. And on top resides this paint can. And I'm just like, I gotta know what's in there. I gotta know. And I'm like in there kind of reaching, there's bubblegum in here. I'm like, this is cool. This is really awesome stuff. And I remember taking it home, chewing a couple of pieces, and my mouth was just colored. I remember it was like green, and I think I had a purple one, and it blew my mind. I was like, this is good stuff.
Now, going back to the whole aesthetic, the graphic design, the logo and everything, I just wanted to touch on that quickly. I want you to tell me if you get this same vibe when you look at this compared to something like the Double Dare logo. That's where my brain goes.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I feel like that whole, just the colors that they chose, how bold it is, and like the line work on the the lettering and everything. To me, it's similar. And obviously with the green slimy paint drips around the whole edge, that definitely lends itself to the whole Nickelodeon motif of slime and green and oozy. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up quickly because they're both also using a lot of primary colors. Yes. The Double Dare logo in this. So I feel like they're kind of cousins in a sense.
We just had a discussion in the Facebook group yesterday. It was whether you were a Nickelodeon kid or a Cartoon Network kid. Go there. Do those things. It's fun. We all have fun. We have a blast. Anyways, and I always get on there first and I say my spiel after I post it, and I said that I was a Nickelodeon kid because I really, really was through and through. And that could have very well been the grass, like that. I could have seen that and maybe in the back of my mind just thought, yeah, that's Nickelodeon as fuck and I need to be part of it. And you might have just opened up a little gate there for me that I didn't realize was sitting there. That's interesting observation you made.
Now, the only other thing that I'm going to say, I'm going to draw comparisons here, because I don't think that this one is technically discontinued yet. But even if this version of it's been discontinued, there are other candies out there that are knocking off the concept. But like I said, I never had tongue splashers. They weren't really around when I was having candy and eating candy. But the concept of coloring your tongue, that obviously got carried through into other different products. And the one that I had when I was growing up that I really fell in love with, it wasn't bubblegum. It was lollipops again.
It was lollipop. Yeah.
Lollipop Paint Shop.
Yes. The little paint can. You dip the lollipop in. Yeah. I totally remember that.
So very similar. It's just instead of it being gum, it was, more or less like a pixie stick knockoff. Yeah. But the whole point is that it would paint your tongue. But if you look at it, everything is paint splattery and oozy. It came in a sort of paint can shaped tin that they would have all of the sugar, and you would dip the lollipop paintbrush in and paint your tongue different colors, and those sort of feel like spiritual successors to the tongue splasher. So just wanted to give it a quick mention, considering that you brought this up, and they're like brother and sister, or maybe cousins even.
With all that being said, this is one that I would definitely love to see come back. I don't know why it really ever had to leave, other than maybe the food dye being a bad thing for kids, especially nowadays, where a lot of candies, actually, we've seen one or two that were supposed to come out during the Halloween season that ended up getting scrapped because of probably the dyes. We're not going to go into that too much, but yeah, I could see this if they did decide to bring it back. Maybe if it was a limited kind of release and they did it for Halloween every year, I think that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, shout out to Tongue Splashers Gum. Miss you very much, Boo Boo.
He's ready to spend all of his life savings on the license to produce this gum.
Absolutely. I have a little can here. I didn't quite decide to pony up the dough for the big can. It's not that expensive. Like, we're talking like maybe $35, $40 for the empty can. My space is limited, so I opted for the small can. Can you blame me? I mean, come on.
No.
Ever notice how much people like to fast forward through things? Yeah. It makes them feel good. They like to get to the good part, like Frutopia. And that's why we put the fruit in Frutopia. It's something to savor in this fast-forward world. So go ahead, fast-forward all you want. As long as you end up on something good. Frutopia. We just want to make you feel good.
All right, Grimy, my next pick is going to be me being controversial yet brave. Just because we're doing a discontinued foods show, it doesn't have to be foods that we want back, that we want to have and hold and ingest again. Right. All right? Sometimes we just need to bring up foods that everybody else wants back. And listen, I took a couple of liberties here. I shocked you before we started this episode because we were going through our final lists. When I got to this pick, you said, "Oh, nice." And I said, "Yeah, I didn't like it." And you said, "Oh, okay." And I said, "Grimy, you never told me that I had to like the thing that I'm choosing." And that, of course, is Frutopia.
listen, here's the deal. You don't really have to like them. This is a discontinued food show. So, like, it more or less, it's one that left some kind of impression on you, whether it was good or bad. These are things that we think about often because they left an impression on us somehow. I'm really curious, though. What's your beef with Frutopia?
All right. Well, just right off the bat here. All right. Like a little bit of history on Frutopia, right?
Yeah.
If you look it up, you find out Coca-Cola Company, they own Minute Maid. Minute Maid decides, hey, you know what we should do? This Snapple thing is really taking off. We should make a competitor to Snapple. And thus Frutopia is born. Okay? And I think therein lies my problem, is that I think I always knew on some level that Frutopia is just a pale imitation of Snapple. And I get it. There's different aesthetics happening. There's different, marketing angles. But when it came down to just the juice, and we're just talking about, I don't even know if you can call it juice, really. When it came down to the sugary drink masquerading as juice.
Yeah. No fruit.
To this day, I think that Snapple was, and always will be, the superior product. So I think I was always comparing in my mind my beloved Snapple flavors.
So you've got an end-all be-all. That's your beef with it. See, I'm the opposite. I am variety is the spice of life. Have all, take all.
That's fine. I have no problem with variety. And I wouldn't even mind if it stuck around. The problem that I have is I feel like I hear a lot of people talking about how good Frutopia was, how much they miss it, how much it needs to come back, and that it's sorely missed in the marketplace. And I just think that that's the nostalgia talking. I don't think that Frutopia was ever actually particularly good. I think everybody complaining misremembers it as being that good. I think that there were better options out there.
I think you've got me on your side, because here was all of my notes that I had written for this here. I don't have strong memories with Frutopia, other than I kind of liked it.
Yes.
But
thank you.
I also don't have very many strong memories with Sunny D, which I also kind of like, but not enough to buy it all the time. It's more of like a one and done kind of thing. And I think we ingested it quite often as kids, but it was never my first choice. You know what I mean? It was like, if it's there, I'll drink it. I would have rather had the purple stuff in the refrigerator, like the kids in the commercial. So like, I mean, Frutopia, I remember the logo more than anything and seeing it plastered in places. And I think a lot of people, that's where they're like, yeah, that was good stuff.
Yes. And I think I totally agree with you on that. The allure of it, I think, was more so in its marketing, right? Snapple, I get it. Snapple was never really like the sexy pick. To me, I mentioned last go around that, like Dizzy Grizzlies, that was the top of my grandparents' refrigerator. If that was the top snack, the top of the fridge snack of my fun grandparents, my more modest grandparents is where in their second fridge in the basement you would find the Snapple in all of the least desirable flavors. So I feel like
bummer.
Snapple had this, not widespread, but maybe if you were of a certain age, it had this sort of grandparent feel to it, where it felt like maybe this is what like older people enjoy. And like, it's good, but like, it's not fun and exciting, and I don't want to reach for that when I have a choice between all of these flashy colors in this gas station clear front case that I want to pick from, right? And that's where Frutopia did really well. Like, for me, I can still see it clear as day in my mind's eye. In elementary school, my first elementary school, I was only there through second grade before I changed. This was back when you could actually have vending machines in schools.
Oh, yeah.
So we had
time.
two at this particular school. We had a Gatorade vending machine, which I preferred, and we had the classic Frutopia vending machine. And you were always sort of drawn to that one just because it looked so cool. The graphic design on those it drew you in. Everything was like, and this goes for the commercials as well, if you watch any of the old ones, everything was very like kaleidoscopy and
Kind
like
of trippy, like almost like you're looking
trippy,
out of a lava lamp.
like maybe like a little jungly too.
A little bit, yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it, but a lot of bright colors, a lot of funky, like lava lampy, groovy fonts being used.
Totally.
And then the problem that I'd have is that inevitably you'd get sucked in like a tractor beam, right? So when I'm in this elementary school, my mom is actually working at this school at this point. So we're in the same building. Inevitably, at the end of the day, I'd have to hang out for a little bit longer until she was done with her shift. I'd go to her. She'd go give me my quarter or 50 cents. She'd be like, oh, you can go buy a drink. So I would go and I would go get a Frutopia. And the problem that I had, and I think I've mentioned this before on a different food show, you might be able to relate to this. It didn't matter how cold that drink got. It always felt like it was like warm.
Lukewarm,
Like-
yeah. I can't speak for Frutopia's sake, but like I've had drinks that are kind of like that, where like it could be frozen and it still wouldn't be cold enough. It just doesn't.
The
seem
ones
right.
that come to mind that are similar that I still have a distaste for, that I really didn't like even as a kid too. Sunny D, which you already brought up. Didn't matter how cold Sunny D got, it felt like there was like some warm element to Sunny D. And then the king of this feeling, Hawaiian Punch. Hawaiian Punch just
Hawaiian
always
Punch.
felt like it was
Yep.
hot. I don't know what the deal was with that, but
Yeah. Well, you
Hawaiian
guys all
Punch
know
and
how I feel
Frutopia.
about Hawaiian Punch. I can't drink that shit no more. So yeah, I get it.
gross. Just gross. So, I don't know. Do I think like the marketing was interesting and good? Yeah, I do. I almost wish that they would do something again, like take that marketing style, reboot it, just apply it to a better, you know what? I'll do you one better. All you Frutopia people, it can come back, but those formulas have to change. They have to be better. They have to stop tasting warm. They have to, like, maybe put Sobe drinks in a Frutopia bottle. And then we're living in a utopia, a Frutopia utopia.
I don't think that's ever going to happen because the brand is still alive and doing very well in Canada right now. Yeah, so
Canada.
they started in 1994, which was really kind of blew my mind because this feels like such a 2000s drink, especially by like the logo and everything. And it ended in 2003 in the States. It was replaced by 4 flavors of Minute Maid. I think strawberry passion, tropical citrus, berry kiwi, and raspberry lemonade. But yeah, it's still alive and well in Canada. I think there's like 4 different flavors out. You can purchase it on Amazon, but you're going to pay far out the ass for it.
Turtles, get ready! It's an attack! A snack attack! A crunchy snack attack! It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle piece of crunch-a-bunga! Snack attack! A snack attack, Jack! Going to pieces over crunchy little pizzas! A snack attack! Pizza crunch-a-bunga snacks! Sounds like a crunchy snack attack, dude! I take on any ninja who takes my crunchy food! Pizza crunch-a-bunga! Want some? Got some! Awesome! Crunch-a-bungas!
My last pick comes from 1991 or possibly 92. Not exactly sure. That is TMNT's Pizza Crunch-a-Bungas. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, and I thought, I thought we were doing a little deja vu here. I could have sworn, as we were talking offline, that you had picked this in Discontinued Junk Food Part 2. And you quickly corrected me that you did not pick Pizza Crunch-a-Bungas by the Ninja Turtles in Part 2. You instead had picked
Pizzerias.
Pizzerias.
Pizzeria Bungas. Yeah, man. Not to be confused with the ever so popular pizzerias. They were delicious, but 2 very, very different things. These, to me, seemed like the best thing ever. And I say seemed because I never got to have them. very bummed by that. I just was too young. They were only around for like a year, maybe, give or take. They were gone very, very fast. But anyways, if you aren't familiar with this snack food, these were pizza-flavored puff corn snacks. So think like a Cheeto flavored with pizza. But they looked more, they were supposed to resemble pieces of pizza or like pizza pies, like a whole pie. But they ended up looking a lot more like honeycomb cereal pieces.
Yeah, I was thinking that. It definitely looks like honeycomb, or I don't know why I kept going there because it's two completely different shapes. But like the Spider-Man cereal kept coming to mind too. Again,
I can see that. I
know not even really close, but to me, maybe it's like the art style on the book. I don't know. It's similar though.
Yeah, after finding out about these way later in life, like literally probably 10 years ago, I fell in love with the whole idea. Since I was, a huge Turtles fan and a pizza fan, I love the idea. This is just an awesome concept. Everything about these is awesome, from the packaging to the product itself, and even the commercial. If you've never seen it before, it was done by Will Vinton Studios. So the Turtles are in their classic Will Vinton style claymation, which was just absolutely insane. Never saw the commercial until I was cruising some nostalgia websites and YouTube rabbit holes and all that good stuff. But this guy, Will Vinton, if you didn't already know, he's known for like the Claymation Christmas special and more notably the California Raisins.
Yeah, that's right. My boys, my baby boys, kings of the blues, rhythm, soul, beautiful little prunes, raisins, dates, whatever you want to call them.
But since I've never had them, and since I found out about them, I've been trying to buy products that would be a good shoo-in for this snack, and it's been tough because I've never had them. I don't really know what to compare them to, but a lot of people online have expressed what they thought about them, and I think today, in the year of our Lord 2025, the closest thing that I've tried that I would assume is like a Pizza Crunch-a-Bunga are these new Cheeto Puffs. They're pizza flavored. And they're pretty delicious.
I did see those, and I was so stupid. I actually saw them in person before you, which never happens.
I know.
Ever.
You sent me that photo. And I was like, what?
The one time that happens, you had actually sent me something a couple days later, and you go, oh, man, look at this. And I was like, oh, I saw that at the store the other day. And you're like, what?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, shit, is it a big deal? And you're like, it's a huge deal. And to my dismay, I have not actually seen them again because I've not been to a store that has them again. So I might have actually missed my chance. But you're saying that those new Cheetos are, you think, probably pretty close?
I tell you what, when I close my eyes and I'm eating them things, I see Will Vinton's TMNT. Okay.
I see Will Vinton, his face staring back at me.
Yep.
Kissing
and like
me on the cheek.
7 tiny raisins all singing.
He's staring me right in the eyes, sucking on a Jar Jar Binks lollipop.
Literally, all of that is happening as I'm eating these things. And I'm like, you know what? This is close enough, Dave. This is going to do it.
Hey, Icebreaker's liquid ice? Thanks. Ooh, I think it's liquid. You're probably right. It's a tiny liquid mint. No, you're always right. It's cool and refreshing as ice.
Enjoy your stay.
Thanks. You're right. No, you're right. I know you're right. I know you're right. I'm so wrong. It's liquid. I'm wrong. You're right. It's ice. You're right. You're so right. It's liquid. It's ice.
It's both.
It's liquid. It's ice. It's Icebreaker's liquid ice in 3 favorite flavors. He's right. He's so
Grimey. I have to tell you something.
What's up? You okay?
Your breath, man. It fucking reeks.
The stank.
Right?
It's got the stank.
You have eaten so much junk food tonight, and they are all non-complimentary flavors. And I am sitting across from you, and I'm smelling every single scent as it leaves your mouth.
Wait a minute. Let me do the smell check. Oh my God. You're absolutely right. What are we going to do to fix this?
Don't worry. Listen, have I ever steered you wrong before? I've got you covered. All right.
You tried to give me a lollipop. That was pretty questionable, but
you can't talk about that. That's our secret. Listen. All right, Stinky, I've got just a solution for you. Hold out your hand. Your hand.
All right. Can I keep my eyes open? I'm gonna do it here.
I'd prefer that you do.
Okay.
It's for both of our safety. All right, here you go. Here you go.
Oh my god.
Take a couple of those. Oh, you swallowed it.
Oh, was I not supposed to?
Well, they're not pills, Grimey. They're icebreakers.
They look like pills.
Liquid ice mints. Is it liquid or is it ice?
Maybe both.
Maybe both. Yeah, Grimey. That's my last pick. I chose none other than a mint, which these days doubles as your only way of getting menthol back into the filter of cigarettes.
Yeah, I remember having these. I mean, they were from 2003. These were only around for a year. Believe it or not. I can't believe that they've only been around for a year because I feel like I've had them for like multiple years. But then I remember those specific cigarettes coming out. The fucking little Camel Crush, little pop at the end of your cigarette. I'm not a smoker. I've never been, but all my friends are. And I remember them just showing me this. Like, oh, that's just Icebreaker's liquid ice in a cigarette. Like, that's genius.
Yeah. So that just blew my mind. So, like you said, the pick, I'll mention it one more time. It's Icebreakers. They put out a product called Liquid Ice. There are these tiny, tiny little balls with like a dissolvable. They're almost like pills, right? So think of like a Tylenol liquid gel or an Aleve or something like that. I think Aleve is probably like the best way to describe it, right?
Allergy medicine.
Not allergy medicine. Aleve, it's for the joints and for all the pains.
Oh,
and
Aleve?
aches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking Allegra. Sorry.
No.
Mixing up my
Think...
medicines again.
Don't do that. I don't want to have to call you an ambulance again, Brian. Okay.
All right.
All right. So think of an Aleve liquid gel. Not sponsored by Aleve, by the way, but I would gladly take some big pharma money right now. So they're blue, and they've got those squishy little outside pill casings that the whole allure is that when you swallow it down, it dissolves like immediately, and then you get this rush of cool medicine in your belly. Now, let's just take that concept and apply it to a mint, right? Because you're a modern person. I'm a modern person. We live go-go lifestyles, Grimey. I don't have time to be sucking on a mint, all right? And I don't have time to pull out a mini travel-sized mouthwash and rinse out my stink mouth after a long day at the office.
Right,
Okay?
so
I've
many
got
other
meetings
activities. You got shit to do.
back to back. Yeah. So you know what I need is I need a combination of that. I need that pill technology to deliver me some minty goodness, some mouthwashy minty goodness on the go very fast. And that's what Icebreaker's Liquid Ice did. It was a revolution, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, these things, like you, I'm just completely stunned that they were only around for a year. It felt like eons that these things were available for. It felt like throughout my whole childhood, from 3rd grade through 6th grade, at least for 3 years, that these were sitting in my dad's car in his center console, always ready to go. And I remember, he would run into a store. I would be bored. I'd break in. I'd take a couple of them, pop them down, minty fresh, a little strong, a little bit overpowering, but I liked it.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of kicked you in the teeth with how strong these things were.
Oh, yeah. A great sensation, I'm telling you. And they looked super futuristic, too. Like, looking at them through that clear little packaging, all the little beads just sitting in there. Did you ever watch Demolition Man?
Yeah.
When the freezing mechanism comes down, it's that little bead, and it, like, freezes the whole pod with the person in it. That's what it's like to chew 5 gum. Yeah, it definitely. That's what I imagine every time I had one of these, though, is that scene. Like, it's just so potent and so delicious, and it really did help with pizza crunch-a-bunkas in your mouth.
Oh yeah, 100%. And you know what? Like, I feel like the best way to describe it for those of you who are still sticking with it, us talking about mints for probably the 5th minute now, is they look like little mint caviar.
Right,
like caviar balls.
Little Baruca caviars.
Very futuristic, very cool. And yeah, my favorite thing about it was like how hard they went on the advertising. Did you happen to watch any of the commercials that went along with these?
Ooh, you know what? I don't think I did. I don't think I've ever
Okay.
actually seen a commercial. Why don't you explain one to me?
I found 2.
Okay.
And they both are doing the same thing, going for the same thing. It's just they were like grabbing famous sisters of pop culture. So one of them are the 2 Simpsons. So Ashley Simpson and Jessica Simpson.
Oh, that's
And
not where I
they're-
thought you were going with it. It's like The Simpsons.
No, not Lisa.
So the
and Bart.
singers,
No,
the
yeah.
girls, the real life
singers.
people. Okay.
Well, because don't forget, this was the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And they were kind of on top of the world at this
Yeah.
point. And then they also went for the Duffs. So.
Oh, Hillary.
I see. That's confusing because you thought The Simpsons, and then I said the Duffs. So that could also be.
It went right back to The Simpsons. I was like, what?
But yes,
Almost had a
Hillary
stroke.
and Haley Duff did commercials for these. And yeah, they're just like acting like twins and yapping. Like that was the whole thing. Just like sisters yapping about mints and about other things in life. I don't know. They're kind of fun. They're definitely a little time capsule. And as soon as I pulled them up to watch them, it actually did kind of come flooding back to me. So that's probably why you and I were thinking that these were around longer than they were, because I remembered those commercials. So they must have been advertising the shit out of these for that 1 year that they were around.
I feel like this was not a cheap project, I guess. I feel like this probably cost a little bit of money to produce.
Well, okay, wait, because let's go back to the cigarette thing. Let's cap this whole thing off with cigarettes, right? So somebody probably did spend a whole lot of money on R&D for this particular product, but like years before when they made them for cigarettes. And like Joe Camel, he probably, spent all of his money like, how do I make this Camel Crush thing? And then those probably didn't do super well. So, there's probably some crossover. There's probably a license up for grabs somewhere trying to recoup their research and development costs on this product. And that's where Icebreakers comes in. Like, well, people are not wanting to put these in their cigarettes. Well, we can at least try them as mints. And then people didn't want them as mints either.
No.
Most people.
Maybe.
But I did. And I would like them back. And I guess the good news, Grimey, is that since there's been a nationwide, I believe, menthol ban and flavored tobacco ban, the only solution that smokers have these days are basically these. So they're not being sold as Icebreakers anymore, but if you type in menthol cigarette balls or something to that effect, you can actually find them for sale, and you can get a lot of them for very cheap.
I could just eat
Believe it or
these?
not. Well, I think you can eat them. Don't quote me on that. I would assume
as
that
long
you
as there's
can.
no like fiberglass or whatever in there, I'm down to clown.
I mean, look at this eBay listing. I just have to send this over to you.
Yeah, why don't you send
Like,
it to me? I need to see it.
It's going to blow your mind. Like, I would have to assume that you can eat these, right?
Yeah, I'm eating those. I don't know what they're for, but
Yeah.
I'm eating them.
I'm eating them too. All right. So we're going to spend $40 on a 20 bundle of menthol cigarette balls, and we're going to be the freshest MFs alive.
Oh man, I love it. It comes with like a little poker, like a little prodder to like stuff this thing in it and everything. They're wow. Attach the tip, pierce the filter, place ball, insert ball, crush ball. I tell you, I've got brand new instructions. Open mouth, enjoy.
Ingredients: herbal, natural gelatin, and glycerin. The click ball does not contain any dangerous or harmful substances, but it is not recommended that the crush ball be consumed. It doesn't say don't do it. It just says they don't recommend doing it. And listen, you and I have put a lot worse in our bodies. Just ask Bugs Bunny, all right? Just ask Jar Jar Binks. So I think we're doing it.
You're probably right. It's a tiny liquid mint. No, you're always right. It's cool and refreshing as ice.
Enjoy your stay.
Thanks.
From pizza snacks to Dizzy Grizzlies to Jar Jar Binks tongue lollipops. I think that was the Discontinued Junk Food Show, Volume 3. And that is, of course, all the time we have for now.
Yeah, and nobody at home can see me doing this, but I just want everybody to know that every time Grimey mentioned or anytime I talked about the Jar Jar Binks tongue lollipop, I raised my eyes up and down multiple times, much in the same way that Milhouse Van Houten does when he gets horny. So I just want everybody to know that that's what I was doing the whole show. So go back, listen to it again, and every time I talk about it or Grimey mentions it, I am doing those horny eyebrows.
He is, absolutely. And we would love to thank you for listening. There's just no easy way. There's no easy way to go into it. Oh, fuck. But yes, as always, we would like to thank you for tuning in and listening.
And while this show may be over, the fun is just beginning. Just ask Jar Jar Binks. Head over to our Facebook group, The Leftover Pizza Club, and join in on the discussion.
That's right. We post a discussion thread for each new episode so you could chime in with other listeners and talk about your favorite episodes, bits, and picks.
Or tear us a new one about how we shouldn't be making out with Star Wars characters.
In lollipop form. As long as it's constructive and civil, it's going to be fair game.
And if you just can't get enough of us, you can always check us out on Instagram at Leftover Pizza Podcast and BlueSky at leftoverpizzaclub.com. Yes, that's really the handle.
And if you're looking to read some nostalgia content, you can always check out our blog, leftoverpizzaclub.com.
And lastly, wherever you're listening to us, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. All of that stuff helps us a great deal, and we appreciate it very much.
Very, very much. And I don't know about you, but I've got some Cigarette Crush Beads Menthol Capsule 200 Blue Smooth Flavor Crush Ball X2 to buy on eBay. So I'll catch you later.
Yeah, I'm just going to go smoke cigarettes for the first time ever. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah.
Very strange contrast from our last episode. Oh, shit. Cartoon All-Stars to the rescue did not work.